On Monday, Mark Zuckerberg announced Meta is building hundreds of gigawatts of computing infrastructure, more power than the entire electrical grid of California. But here's what nobody is talking about. This isn't just about AI. Meta is building out a cloud business without ever saying the word cloud. This is Boardroom Wire. Let's jump into it. To understand why Zuckerberg is making this move, you need to understand what he's chasing. Last quarter, Amazon Web Services generated $33 billion in revenue. Microsoft's cloud business did $30 billion. Google Cloud, $15 billion. That's $107 billion in a single quarter, a $430 billion market annualized. But here's the number that really matters. AWS operates at 35% margin. That means for every dollar of revenue their cloud business brings in, 35 cents drops straight to the bottom line. Last year, AWS generated $44 billion in operating income, more than Meta's entire R&D budget. So what's driving all this cloud growth? It's AI. Microsoft Azure grew 39% last quarter. 18 percentage points of that growth came from AI services alone, double the AI contribution from a year earlier. The cloud business has transformed from renting servers to renting AI. And right now, Meta is paying that rent to everyone else. Here's Meta's structural problem. Amazon has AWS, Google has Google Cloud, Microsoft has Azure, and all Meta has is Facebook ads. Every time Meta trains an AI model, every time they run inference on recommendations, they're either paying the NVIDIA tax for chips or the cloud tax to their competitors. In August, Meta signed a deal with Google Cloud worth over $10 billion over 6 years, just to bridge capacity gaps while they build their own infrastructure. That's $10 billion flowing to a direct competitor, and Zuckerberg wants that money staying in-house, or better yet, flowing in the other direction. Now, let's talk about what it actually costs to play this game. In 2023, the 5 biggest tech infrastructure spenders were Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Oracle, who invested a combined $160 billion in capital expenditure. In 2024, that number jumped to $258 billion. In 2025, it's now up to $400 billion. And 2026 projections now exceed $600 billion. That's nearly quadrupling in a 3-year time period. Meta specifically went from $28 billion in 2023 to $72 billion in 2025. Their 2026 spend is projected to exceed $100 billion, putting them in the same league as Microsoft. Bank of America analysts pointed out something remarkable. AI CapEx will consume 94% of these companies' operating cash flows in 2025 and 2026. They're spending almost every single dollar they make on infrastructure. Zuckerberg himself has said Meta is operating in a compute-starved state. They're allocating resources to AI research instead of existing products. The advertising business that prints money is essentially running on fumes computationally so Meta can chase the AI future. This is not just normal corporate investment. This is industrial mobilization at a scale we haven't seen since the space race. So what exactly did Zuckerberg announce? Meta Compute is a new top-level initiative dedicated to building AI infrastructure at nation-state scale. The stated goal is 10 gigawatts this decade, hundreds of gigawatts over time. 1 gigawatt powers about 750,000 homes. 10 gigawatts equals New York City's peak summer demand, and 100 gigawatts equals the entire power grid of California. Meta is planning to build infrastructure that consumes more electricity than most countries. But here's where it gets interesting. Look at who's running this. You have Santosh Janhardin, who is the technical lead and has been running Meta's infrastructure for 16 years. Makes perfect sense. You also have Daniel Gross as the strategic hire. He co-founded Safe Super Intelligence with Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's former chief scientist. That company hit $32 billion in valuation in under a year. Before that, Gross was an angel investor in Uber, Coinbase, Figma, and GitHub, respectively. His new role at Meta: long-term capacity strategy, supplier partnerships, and business modeling. And then there's Dina Powell-McCormick, Meta's first ever president. She spent 16 years at Goldman Sachs running their sovereign wealth business, and she personally led relationships with the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which has $600 billion in assets. She helped pitch the Saudi Aramco IPO, which was the largest IPO in history. Her mandate at Meta? Partner with governments and sovereigns to build, deploy, invest in, and finance Meta's infrastructure. This is a part that's a huge tell to Meta's strategy. There's a massive trend called sovereign AI, which is essentially countries building their own domestic AI capabilities. Saudi Arabia committed $100 billion to this initiative. The UAE is spending $40 billion. These governments want AI infrastructure on their soil and under their control. And Powell McCormick's entire career has been selling to exactly these buyers. You don't hire someone with her Rolodex to run internal data centers. You hire her to close deals with nation states. Here's the historical parallel that makes all this make sense. In the early 2000s, Amazon built massive infrastructure to handle e-commerce traffic. Then someone realized, we have all this capacity, what if we sold it? AWS ended up launching in 2006 and today generates over $130 billion annually and funds basically everything else Amazon does. Meta has spent a decade building infrastructure for AI training and recommendation systems. They've deployed custom chips, they've signed nuclear energy deals totaling 6.6 gigawatts, they're building a 1 gigawatt data center in Ohio and a 5 gigawatt campus in Louisiana. Zuckerberg told Trump at a dinner last September that Meta would invest $600 billion in US infrastructure by 2028. The question is whether all of that stays internal or whether Meta eventually flips the switch and starts selling compute externally. The leadership hires suggest they're at least exploring option 2. If Meta does enter the cloud market, they'll be a decade behind AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. That's a brutal disadvantage in an enterprise sale like this. But sovereign AI is a new market. Governments don't have existing cloud vendor relationships for domestic AI infrastructure. They're starting from scratch, and they're starting with conversations. And Meta, at a minimum, has put themselves in the conversation. If you found this breakdown valuable, like and subscribe for more strategic analysis on business and technology. This is Boardroom Wire. See you on the next one.